hoping that, the construction would be done, I'm guessing January, February-ish of this coming year. Because so basically, I think I'm sure Josh already told you that, shutting down the street between for 7 weeks allowed us to basically shave off 3 months of total construction. And show you the space, whatever that I know that John's got, and just so you can take a look at it. We could probably walk in if they're open. And then obviously we've got our former illegal pizza site right at the mill. I'd love to show you as well. So yeah, absolutely. Cool. And just gonna show you some general stuff. Awesome. When I started as mayor 5 years ago, I was determined to say, we've got to bring back that local feel to the city of Tempe in the downtown, because quite honestly, that's what not only I want, but that's what our residents want. I'll tell some of our larger landlords, you can bring in chains that are probably going to pay you a little bit more in rent.
When I was talking to John and you, I was saying we literally need a small window in 150 square feet. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like, our truck is literally the size of this.
Corner. You've got the Westin Hotel right over here as well. You've got a canopy. And so you now have all this business clientele that frankly wasn't here before. Yeah. And also, of course, directly to the east of the Omni, you've got the Mirabella at ASU building, which is, seniors, who are living, literally the average net worth of the people living in that building per unit is $6 million. And so those residents, their whole thing is, we're not college kids. We want stuff that's more.
We want a good mix.
We want a good mix. The things, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward, and all of them said, hey, we all live here, but we still haven't walked across the street and checked it out. I said, guys, it's imperative that when we bring in these nicer restaurants, you got to support them. Yeah. Because if they don't get the support, they're not going to keep coming. So
yeah, good, really good space.
It's huge. Yeah, you can do a lot with this. There's even like a sandwich spot that I think would be cool here. You have Ike's right down the street though.
Yeah, Ike's right on the corner.
Ike's is there. Yeah, Jimmy John's is gone now.
Yeah, it's like a sandwich slash.
You got Daily Jam that does lunch. They roll breakfast and lunch.
The sandwich place could work here too. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, I don't think that's awesome. So I don't think
this is wild.
I love this.
But it's fully AC, electric. It's got everything. So
I would actually really be interested in these.
I didn't want to show it to you because the pending demolition possibly, but hey, you never know with how quick we change our minds around here. You just
this is 100%
our
vibe. Like this is awesome.
The interest you would generate from being in the first of all, people would feel like they're finding something. They'd be like, where?
That's completely part of our shtick.
It's perfect.
We don't have a ton of signage. Like we're always off the beaten path. We don't invest in the big, corner lot. Not because I don't think that's going to drive business. Obviously, being in the corner is going to get you more business.
Right.
But no, you're right part off of me. Like you're just, you're a step. That had a dial tone.
Oh man, yeah, this is really cool. I would genuinely be interested in this. Like I would, if this was available, I would move on this super fast. Yeah. Dude, you've been going everywhere, boat tours and this and that. So just making sure that content's going out consistently. I'm actually getting content. So I work one-on-one with my guy who basically runs our Instagram. He comes into our shops about once a week, gets content. He comes to some of my pop-ups and things like that, and he gets content. And then he posts twice a week. But again, I'm involved in the strategy, the idea, where we take it. Because I don't want every decision to come to me,
What's not okay is, continuing to do what you're doing, which is you can't trust anyone at any of the sites to have, the know-how on what are we using, what do we plan on using, and what do we do when we need to either waste something or more of something, right? Mm-hmm. And anyway, if you are wasting something, I would love to see a process where you can salvage that waste as a donation if you don't already have that, right?
Like, what would happen? Now, that doesn't mean that everybody orders it, right? But, I'm not saying you just go guns blazing here, no parameters. But I'm trying to push you to the absolute opposite way of thinking to see what might emerge if you said, nope, I'm going to rethink this from the standpoint of every single person can order inventory. What does that system look like?
Knowing that most people in the world are financially incentivized, how have you thought about some of the incentives when it comes to management and with these bigger groups or chains, whatever you want to call them?
I see spot bonus opportunities for team members. Yep, where it's like, hey, you completed this training system or process, you completed this task, you hit this metric, so therefore you're going to get a spot bonus. Sometimes that comes in the form of a gift card, sometimes that comes in the form of cash because of your values and who you are as a person. And I would add to this, like, your relationships, even just here locally.
Yeah.
Like, you could create some experiences, developmental experiences for your team that they would never have access to outside of their role with Novel, right? Whether it's introducing them to people, showing them other businesses or projects, like, that's a huge opportunity that you can create.
Like even a food tour, right? Of like the local spots, and I think that would be so cool for them. So that experience piece was a game changer for me, because like I've always thought, okay, I'll give, I'll buy you some food, I'll give you some cash, like here's $20 for being a good person, like, but that stuff doesn't really matter for a lot of people. Like $20 is $20. I think they're excited in the moment, and then
It's extra hour labor.
yeah, they're like, oh cool, I guess I'll just buy some Chipotle with this. Like it's just not that cool.
Whenever we're going through,
This is cool.
like new accounts, stuff like that.
And then you got what, like a photo studio over here?
Yeah. So,
This is sick.
yeah, we had a local muralist from Chandler. Actually, she came in and did this once we opened up this spot. Yeah, this is like the method of the madness comes into play.
So cool, dude.
Yeah.
This is super cool.
So Nick actually just finished his first like big piece. So this is actually one of his drawings as well, or paintings. So, easy question then, when you're looking at the Novel ice cream collab brief coming through, how'd you make it come to life? Who worked on it?
Zach did it. Crushed it. I just
Yeah, the shirts are really cool.
I just, closed my eyes and prayed that was gonna be some cool stuff. And I hope I did.
Yeah.
And so you guys do all your shoots right here?
For the most part, yeah, we'll do product shots here for any web images, things like that. At the time, we'll always start in the conception phase with our main logo, just because that's what everybody knows and loves, right? So it's what draws attention at first. But as we've seen over time, like last year, our top 5 designs that we had sold were all non-main logo designs.
Studio and all that back here?
No, so back here, this is actually the cool stuff. This is where we actually printed.
Everybody's out for the day right now, but
Dude.
like,
Once all products are finalized, they come here. But it's like if you were, say you were a client coming in to pick up, like I would just come in, grab your product, here's the finish line.
yeah.
But the way that
Good brand, or good base, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, his colors are solid.
Dude, they're the best.
Biggest pain in the butt with merch. The stitch right here over time,
Yeah.
you'll try to put the shirt on and it just folds over. And you literally gotta
Yeah.
hold it
Hold
down,
it down.
I've seen videos,
Okay.
I believe, of they lay the shirt down, the design gets good, and then it pushes the, what is it, paint?
Yeah.
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 So they push paint, but I haven't seen it from them. So it's
Okay. Yeah, so usually what they'll do is you'll have the artwork set up on one of these machines, right? And to your point, like here's a screen, for example.
Yep.
You have paint here. It's going to continue to print as you're moving along this conveyor belt, depending upon how many colors are involved. Once the shirt's finished from the design perspective, you'll pop it on here. It's basically just going to bake the shirt. So this will be like the final destination for it. So that it'll
bake
get
the
to go.
shirt.
Pretty much, yeah. It's almost like an oven. Anything you name it that's from the retail side, it's always going to be here. We usually keep about $500,000 in product just in the back, like for HQ side, just from just in retail. I think it makes sense just because you're always going to be moving and pushing stuff, right? So it's just in retail. It's just one of the
and just not running out of stuff.
yeah, exactly it.
Dude, I like this a lot actually. Funny, I just made a sticker that literally says this.
Oh, really?
Not the entrepreneur piece, but I made a
Nice.
sticker.
Support local.
Are you sure I don't owe you anything for this?
No,
dude?
you're good.
Cool.
You're a local entrepreneur. I got to support a local entrepreneur. Come on.
This is sick. I'm pumped to rock this.
When is busy time for you guys? Weekends
Oh yeah.
or evenings?
Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evenings always. After 7 p.m. is a good time for us.
Yeah.
We're open late, so that's helpful. Like our Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 12:30, 12:45 at night, not morning, are packed. Damn. On Fridays and Saturdays, yeah. Being open till 12 or 1.
Oh, I'm sure. And
Is
your
super
spot
helpful.
downtown too is probably like immaculate from like
Yeah.
11 to 1.
Yeah,
I would
with
imagine.
bars and everything closing. You got the Van Buren, you got shows, you
Yeah.
got sports, all that stuff. So it's definitely helpful. We're not doing TikTok very much. We focus solely on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we'll just post basically the same thing on TikTok. Like
Gotcha.
TikTok's not the main
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
So I have one guy who's completely dedicated to Instagram.
Mhm.
And the reason for that is, I was talking to him earlier, that I don't think a lot of people are good at multiple platforms. Like if you find a social media person, they tend to gravitate toward one platform.
Yeah.
And so it's, in my opinion, I didn't want to bring somebody on that was just a social media manager who just like tried to post everywhere. And
Yeah.
you know, we're not trying to be everywhere. We can have pages on every platform just to know that we exist.
If a person can watch that video and get a better understanding as to who Mike is, that gives that person the understanding as to what State 48's culture and what we're about is, which is then
Totally.
in transition going to allow them to buy into what our cause is,
Yeah.
right? So I think everybody's always putting on the front that everything's good and everything's great, right? But in entrepreneurship, I mean, in any room that you're in, there's always struggles, and I think there's strength in people knowing that and learning from that, because what you could post, maybe there's the next person in line that sees that and
Yeah.
now is going to reach out and wants to talk.
In the beginning, I was like, okay, we'll go national. We'll go to the moon and get, however many locations that we can get. And like,
Yeah.
I think there's ways to do that, but I think it removes what Novel's actually about and what people love about Novel. If I were to get the normal end cap location at a big, retail center, like it just wouldn't feel like Novel.
Right.
Like if I got this size space and you could walk into Novel and it's got, it's like a Jenny's or like one of these brands, it doesn't feel the same. This is like way East Mesa. We are like off the 60 and basically Baseline, I believe this is. So Chrisman and Baseline. And this is a new development. You got apartments, you got self-storage, you got schools, dentistry. So we are thinking about putting a Novel in one of these spaces. I believe this is the space, and I believe this concept is transitioning out of here pretty soon. I tend to not care a whole lot if there's other desserts in the complex because I think we're pretty unique. And so even if there was another traditional ice cream space in the complex, I just wouldn't be too worried about it unless they were trying to do the exact same thing as us, obviously. So this is like 1,200 square feet or so. It's a little bit bigger than normal. We like to be anywhere between 5 and let's say 700 max. But we could always use the storage space. We could always bring more product into the store, maybe even have some walk-in ability. But we are window service only. We tend to always have like outdoor seating. But this is a little bit of a different space than what we would traditionally do. You have 2 roll-up doors, which is actually super cool because you could make this an entire patio area. You could have live music out here. You could host trivia nights. Like you can do all types of events. It's kind of weird. Got a swing. But yeah, you could pop both of these open, and this is nice and shady. You could really turn this into something cool. This is not really a main street, so again, you could kind of block this whole thing off and make this a really cool space. Might give the really next step on stuff like this is to call the broker, schedule a meeting, negotiate the lease if it fits, and you think you can make it work. So you go back to the landlord, negotiate the lease. If you come to terms on it, then you start building out. That could be anywhere from 3 to 6 months for something like this. Since we are ice cream only, this could be 3 months max with permits, getting our equipment in there, getting our team staffed, trained, all that stuff. So that could be 3 months. So realistically, if this had a solid lease, or we can negotiate a solid lease on it, you could be in here by the end of the year. I'm excited about the east side and the west, or the East Valley and the West Valley, because there's so much being built and there's not a lot of local concepts that are coming to both of these areas. There's a lot of local stuff downtown, in downtown Phoenix, Tempe, all of that, but there's not a lot on the corners of the valley. So this is a cool opportunity. Again, you're gonna get a lot of traditional retail, which is like, sometimes, but